it causes repeated trauma to the brain. And over years and years of this happening, people can get what's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE syndrome. And it's almost like a disease because with repeated trauma to the brain, and that can lead to memory problems, mood swings, even trouble with movements. And eventually people can develop dementia, like Alzheimer's. Paul got knocked out by Anthony Joshua this past Friday night. And so I want to break this down from a medical perspective. I'm a neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience. And so, you know, what happens is when you get hit in the head with that kind of force, like in boxing, our brain actually moves inside our skull and it can bump into the skull, which is a firm structure, and cause bruising in the
morning. I can't sleep. My jaw's busted. They wired it up a couple hours ago and it hurts every time I move my mouth. I lost tonight. I gave everything and I still lost. Feels like I let everyone down. I'm not a
Jake Paul gets his jaw broken. Not only that, but he gets his lower jaw broken from the right and the left side. So both sides. And not only this, following that, he went through an emergency surgery procedure to get that sorted out, and titanium plates were inserted to help stabilize the case. This will take long.
Nobody wants the hard conversation. When you're hit like that, the brain remembers even if the ego pretends otherwise. Medical warnings about CTE aren't filler, they're labels. Repeated trauma stacks, layer on layer. Jake added serious damage, and time alone doesn't erase it. The risk grows, quietly changing reflexes, confidence recovery, and future decisions for athletes.
He was going like tie him down and catch him with a good shot and shit like that.
So wait, do you think, curious, because it's a business aspect, but again, I'm still a nigga and I'm still a casual fan, so I'm being real.
6 to 8 months, maybe a full year plates. Dental work weight shift slowed reactions. That's only the physical list. Mentally, the shift happened when he admitted heavy weight was a mistake. That single sentence hit harder than any punch. Because it wasn't pain talking, it was doubt finding its voice.
Pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back.
Anthony Joshua's respect made it worse, not better. Respect from the executioner confirms the execution. When AJ said that shot would have dropped real heavyweight, it wasn't praise, it was context. And that context is brutal, because it exposes how thin the margin was all along.
Anthony Joshua sleeping Jake and breaking his jaw in 2 different places, along with breaking his teeth. Gervonta joined the fun with the rest of the boxing community by throwing a meme on Jake Paul. That was his reaction, as you guys see.
Don't assume this ends with rehab clips and motivation posts. Behind closed doors, promoters are recalculating. Opponents are circling, and commissions are watching closely. Quiet whispers suggest not everyone involved even wants a rematch story to exist anymore.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake...
You're probably framing this as a comeback arc, a revenge story, the Phoenix Rise. But be honest after seeing that before, and after image burned in your mind. Will the confidence really land the same, or will hesitation slip in just before the next exchange? Because that half second is where careers quietly end.
On Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times. 1, by just jabbing in the air, and 2, when he caught him,
Something else is about to surface. I can feel it. Too many reactions don't align. Too many people are choosing their words carefully, like something's being protected. Maybe a negotiation, a condition, or a decision made weeks ago that explains the sudden spiral. When it comes out, this entire story flips again.
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and you know, he's getting what you know, he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything. Doesn't do anything.
So no, this isn't finished OT even close. Jake Paul didn't just lose a fight. He cracked open a debate the sport can't silence. While he recovers out of sight and others celebrate loudly, the clock keeps ticking toward the next reveal, the next leak, the next shock. And when it lands, you'll wish you hadn't looked away for even a second.
Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. Question is though, what kind of recovery
He wasn't just knocked out, he was erased. One moment changed the direction of everything. The future shifted. And the most unsettling thought is that this may be the night Jake Paul's boxing identity quietly ended. So don't blink. Rewind to the seconds before it collapsed, when confidence still pretended it could outsmart physics and power, when belief thought it could survive what was coming. It couldn't. Not even close. It feels unreal UT it happened.
AJ came right back in and swung, but he did move him back.
When this fight was first announced, you said to several media members that, like, initially you weren't down for this fight. You thought it was just a little bit too much too soon, to paraphrase. Did he do better? Did Jake do better than you thought? Result aside, obviously you wanted him to win. You thought, I think, by the end that he was going to win, but did he actually do better than you?
This wasn't just a fight. Ending it was a revelation. When Jake hit the canvas and stayed down, it wasn't fatigue or bad luck. It felt like the sport answering him honestly for the first time. And here's what no one wants to say yet, but will. Something went wrong long before the last punch, something structural, something hidden. And someone in this story isn't telling the truth. We're just not there yet.
Doesn't do any posts, but it is what it is. I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get, you know, the biggest paycheck of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit.
You felt it when the tone shifted that brief moment when the arena fell silent and even the commentators paused. That's the sound of an illusion collapsing in real time. This wasn't Anthony Joshua peaking. It was Jake stepping into a level of force he was never truly prepared for. And if you think this story ends with a broken jaw, you're already behind. Everyone talked about toughness like it's armor, but toughness didn't save him. It only kept him standing long enough to take hits that changed careers. What broke wasn't just bone, it was a line between influencer boxing and real heavyweight consequences. And right now, doctors are quietly saying things they're not ready to share on camera.
Yeah, just a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm going to beat your ass and I'm going to beat Jadon Love ass. On my mama, I'm going to beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing.
You saw the x-rays. You saw the hospital post. What you didn't see was the panic behind the scenes, the rush of that surgery, the way to stop feeling like a fight injury and started feeling like a serious trauma case. Here's the part that makes your stomach drop. That final right hand didn't just land. It shifted leverage, altered timelines, and could change how commissions view these matchups going forward. People laughed. Tank laughed. Memes spread everywhere. But pay attention, this is where it gets uncomfortable. That laughter isn't just mockery. It's relief. Relief that someone finally voiced what the sport was quietly thinking. And the tension here runs deeper than jokes, deeper than tweets, deeper than anyone is admitting for now.
Listen, respect to Jake. You know, he was a tough guy in there. Obviously, he moved a lot and made it difficult for AJ. And AJ's been out of the ring for a while. He's a bit rusty. It took him time to just get hold of him, but I was impressed with Jake. And listen, as I said to Nikisa, at the end of the day, he took shots that a lot of people would have got knocked clean out by, especially at the end, you know. So,
Was it frustrating for you to watch?
No, I mean, maybe, like, obviously, when someone's moving like that.
Jake called people out burn bridges and challenged legacies. When the Tank fight collapsed, something broke, because instead of adjusting, he doubled down. That choice will resurface in ways you won't see coming. Some of these fighters don't forget, and they definitely don't forgive. And yes, I'm hinting at something ugly on the horizon.
Respect to Jake Paul that we took a few rounds to get going because Jake was moving a lot and holding a lot, and you know it was difficult to nail him clean. I think, but eventually AJ took his time, cut him off, and smashed him about. And listen, respect to Jake Paul because that last shot, I know he shattered his jaw, but it would have knocked most heavyweights out. So I've got to give him credit.
I was going to say, in the end, are you pleased with that? Because obviously everyone was saying
that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet. Who's 40 pounds heavier than him, is 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters in the planet, my brother.
And when they're rugby tackling you, but he had to do what he had to do to survive, and he did that. So you know, it's very difficult to go in like, you know, out the ring for 14 months and just be razor sharp with a guy running. And so yeah, probably 2 or 3 rounds more than expected. But fair play to Jake Paul. He was a lot tougher than I thought, and he took a lot more shots than I thought he could.
What did AJ tell you inside the ring about?
Wicked fight. Respect to Jake Paul for taking the fight. Took a heavy shot. But you know what a fantastic fight he put on. But big well done to AJ. We knew from day one AJ was going to do it. The better fighter was going to win.
People said that Jake Paul was running. Do you feel like he ran, or do you like...
I mean, I get someone like AJ. AJ's the big guy, strong guy, and he can hurt you. So yeah, 100%. Like, he's going to want to avoid his power, but you know what? He got caught in the corner and bang you out.
Or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that
will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet. Who's 40 pounds heavier than him, is 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet.
Until then, the memes keep flying, debates rage on, and the image that won't fade shows Jake Paul smiling before the fight and broken afterward. One frame tells the whole story.
graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological.
Now, everyone's acting like it was closer than it was hiding behind respect and moral victories. But respect doesn't fix a broken jaw, and it doesn't change that Anthony Joshua dismantled him calmly and patiently like solving a puzzle he'd already seen. And if you think other fighters didn't take notes, think again.